Hello everyone, my name is Ashton and welcome back to my cozy corner of YouTube. In this video I will be completing this fruit spread. Well, it's really only just tomato and cucumber, but I will be completing this fruit spread using my trusty Arrtx acrylic markers. If you're new here, you could expect a voiceover Chatterbox session for the first while of the video, and then I will leave you with the cozy music and satisfying marker sounds. Timestamps for that will be in the description. Anyways, let's just get into the drawing. Getting into this Chatterbox session, this is the most fun I've had on a spread in a long time. I just got super engrossed and had a really great time drawing. However, the caveat, I don't know how to say it. The caveat of that is that I really got into this drawing to the point where I did make some filming mistakes just because I was just so into it that my favorite drawing of the spread, which is the last drawing of 3, I just don't film half of it. I was distracted by the drawing that I'm so sorry. And it's unfortunate because it ends up being my favorite as well, but you know, that's the point of art. You're supposed to escape and kind of get lost in it, and it's supposed to be fun. So yeah, I don't know. The other thing is I'll probably have to mute some clips of this video. You probably noticed that in some of my other videos as well, as sometimes the drawing gets quite quiet, and that's because, you know, my house just makes noises. The AC turns on at some point. You know, I try to make do. Anyways, getting into the drawing, cucumbers and tomatoes, I guess. Don't ask me why. I actually really don't like eating these fruits. These are probably 2 of my least favorite to eat. Sorry if I'm offending anyone right now. But yeah, I don't question when I have inspiration to draw, because it's hard, right? It's easy to get overwhelmed and not want to start, and I don't know, just listen to my brain when it's this, and I'm okay. But yes, I think this spread really highlights why I like to draw in the style that I do. I think there's a clear difference in the cucumbers versus tomato in the way that I use the color palettes. I think that the cucumbers for the most part are very monotone, whereas for the tomato, or the tomatoes, I go really all out. I think the tomatoes just look better. The colors I use make it look very 3D, whereas I think the monotone look very flat. That's not to say I don't like the cucumbers at all. This is just I think it's both of my kind of drawing styles in one page, and it's interesting to see them against each other. The cucumbers look really cohesive, and I don't know what the word I'm trying to look for is. I don't know, the colors just blend well. And then the tomatoes are kind of I don't even know how to explain my tomatoes. They're funky and I love them, pretty much. So there's definitely a place for both styles, so it's interesting to see them next to each other. I always get a little bit worried going into spreads like this that it won't look all cohesive, especially because of the color differences, and especially because I was doing 2 separate styles in a page. I find that if you choose just one color that's the same across all of your drawings, it ends up looking like it's all supposed to be there. And in this one, you'll see it a lot later, but I guess because you could see some of the drawings I've already done, it's that dark bluish gray that I use for the deep dark shadows. And I almost didn't add it because when I was kind of picturing it all in my head, I thought that the darker red on those tomatoes would be dark enough for those shadows, and it just wasn't. So I kind of added it in the spur of the moment, and it ended up being one of my favorite things technically speaking for this page. So yeah. The other thing I wanted to talk about was drawing overwhelm and being scared to start. I talked about this briefly already, but I personally really struggle with it, and I never thought I would get to this point in even just a few months. It really took me finding the media that works best for me and my personality, and I talked about this a little bit in a different video. Can't remember which one, but you know, I'm gonna say it again. I really like these markers because they force me to persist through a drawing. They're very forgiving, so I could cover up mistakes, but once you start drawing, there's no erasing like there would be for a pencil, right? So I find that's really, really helped me. I think it also helps to not be scared about what colors I do end up using, because they cover up very well. At the same time, though, I recognize that these markers are expensive. I definitely didn't buy these myself. I had them gifted to me because I just wouldn't have been able to budget that in. responsibly, you know what I mean? Art supplies can be expensive, you know? But I do think if you are able to explore different media to find what works for you, definitely kind of branch out and explore. Ask for things as gifts like I do, if you're worried about making that kind of a leap, I guess. Something that I do as well is to just surround myself with media that inspires me. I have been watching a lot of Canadian wildlife nature documentaries recently, which is kind of the reason why I really wanted to draw those grizzly bears, I believe 2 videos ago now, and my fish from last video. Nature's just really been inspiring me recently. These fruits just kind of, they reminded me of summer. They were giving picnic, you know, like, and also surrounding myself with other artists that use the media I'm using and are able to inspire me to start, I guess. And I wouldn't force your ideas, right? Like whatever comes, even if it's something like I drew olives the other day and I don't like eating olives and I don't like looking at olives, but whatever you end up sitting with, you know, just like go with it and don't force an idea if that's not where your hands almost are trying to lead you. I don't know. Maybe that's a little woo-woo, but it's been working for me. I don't know. I'm also sure that the content of what I draw is going to change throughout the phases of the year. Like, as I go back into my undergraduate degree in a STEM field, I'm sure things are going to be looking a lot more sciencey or a lot more spooky through like my true crime phases. I'm in forensic biology, so I hope you guys don't mind stuff like that. Yeah. So I don't know how cozy this is going to stay. I draw whatever comes to mind, you know. So it's not very. Yeah, I'll definitely not be sticking to just one theme of thing, which is a little spooky because I know some people will follow for one thing in particular, but I don't know. Maybe I'll broaden your horizon, I guess. I don't know. Okay, I know I've absolutely been chatting way too much, but the very last thing I did want to say is that I am going to officially promise to have new music for next week's videos, because it's getting a little repetitive. And I did have a hard time finding good royalty-free music. I think I finally figured out what I want to do with that. In case you are curious, though, I always do put the music in my description. Anyways, I'll leave you guys with the cozy music now.
Thank you for watching all the way to the end. It truly means so much to me that you did. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked the vibes. I post every Wednesday and Friday with an extra short on Monday. So I will see you on Wednesday. Bye.